Initiating bust.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Sardine here, and welcome back to the Bus Ladder. Today we're going to be looking at Rust, the 2013 survival PvP game that just recently, well, I won't say recently, but just a few years back started getting notoriety through Twitch and YouTube. A lot of popular Twitch streamers started streaming Rust, and now it's become a big hit and sensation among gamers. If you've been living under a rock and don't know what Rust is a survival PvP game where you start from the absolute bottom, you have nothing in the game, and you have to craft, build, and survive your way up to the top, fighting other players, fighting the environment, the world, the animals, and the environment. And you just have to survive, you have to build your way to the top, you make bases, and you just have to survive. And it's become a big hit. These past couple of years, and today I can finally bust ladder it because if you haven't been following me, I got a new computer, so I can finally play PC games now for the first time in my fucking life. And so I was able to play, and I'm not surprised. It's not shocking. But if you don't know the bus ladder, we're going to go through the good things first, and then we're going to go through the bad things. And then at the end, we'll just give an overall rating of the game. Obviously, this is in my opinion. Everybody can have their own opinion about the game. But anyway, the good things. The game is very fun when you have a full friend group. So if you have a full friend group and you all have the game, y'all all hop on. It's very fun. Y'all can play for hours. It's a very good experience. I'll have a bunch of fun, a lot of fun. Getting materials, farming, making new friends on the server, making enemies even. I think it's just great. But unfortunately, I don't really have a lot of good things to say about Rust. It's just, I don't know. It's like, I'm sure there's a lot of good things that I like about it, but I mean, really, I just don't like a lot of stuff about it, and I guess we'll go into that now. And I guess along the way, if I notice anything that I like about the game, I'll mention it. But first thing I do not like about the game is very grind heavy central. So if you don't have any time on your hands, or like if you have a job, if you have any sort of life out of video games, or if you want to play any other video games besides Rust, you won't make it that far in Rust. Especially nowadays, people know everything about this game. So another thing that I don't really like that makes sense in the game, but that I just don't really like, is the wiping system. So if you've never played Rust before, depending on the server, every week or every 2 weeks or every month, the admins of every server, they completely wipe the server, which means if you've had a base, or all the guns you've had, all the materials you've had, it goes away. They completely wipe the server. Sometimes they'll keep like your blueprints or whatever you've had researched. Sometimes they'll keep that, but most of everything will be wiped. So that means it gives everybody a fair chance. But then again, all these people are grinding for what they've gotten, and then after like a month or so, it just goes away. I think that's just a real bad thing to do. But it does make sense. It's just me personally, I wish they didn't wipe servers. Another thing is you can't play this game solo. It is not a solo friendly game, which means if you try to solo this game, or you try to play this game solo, it will not turn out great. I've tried solo a few times before, and I think the farthest I've gotten is I've built a little 2x1 base, and then even then, when I got off, it got raided. And that's as far as I think you can go. Obviously, there are people that are good enough at the game to go solo, but me personally, I cannot do solo. And I think a lot of people can't do solo. It's just not a fun experience. You may be able to get far in the game, but it's just not a fun experience. It's way better when you have a full squad with all your buddies or even people you've made friends with in that server. So, and you know, a lot of people don't have friends to play with. People may have friends, but they don't have Rust, or they don't have, or you know, they don't like Rust or whatever. You know, I think they kind of didn't take that into account when they were making this game, or you know, the concept of this game. But again, I think it's just one of those things that depends on your situation, I guess. And like I said, the good things, I mean, I can't really think of anything, but anyway, let's continue. The AI, or the like, just the AI in this game. So around the map, again, if you've never played Rust before, around the map there are these guards or soldiers called scientists, and they're just kind of placed all around the map. And if you get near them, they have pistols and they'll start shooting you if you get even relatively close to them. So, you know, you could kill them, and sometimes they'll give you some good loot. But it's just the AI in this game when it comes to soldiers, animals, it's crazy. So the soldiers, I mean, they will laser you. And in terms of guns and AI, soldiers, you have the soldiers, or the scientists, if you want to call them that. The patrol heli, which, if you don't know what the patrol heli is, it's a helicopter that goes around the map every like half hour, I think. And if you're out and about with a gun or more than 3 pieces of clothes, it'll start shooting at you, because it's like a containment thing, I guess. They want you to stay in your base. That'll start shooting at you, and then I think some other type of helicopter thing will start shooting at you. But all of those, it's like they really have aimbot. It's one of those situations where the AI is completely overpowered. At least in my opinion, I think the AI should be scaled down a lot, because they will pretty much hit every single shot that they shoot at you. Not unless you're behind some sort of cover, or you got the best fucking jukes in the world. I don't know. But they are just really overpowered. I think they should be tuned down a little bit. And the animals. Let's talk about the animals. So there's a few different types of animals that can attack you in this game. You have a boar, a bear, and I think there's one more that I can't name off the top of my head. I think, though, all the animals in the game... Oh, yeah, a wolf. So you have boar, bear, and a wolf. All those can attack you. There are other animals like deer, chickens, but usually they don't attack you. I've heard from friends and stuff that deer can attack you, but I've never experienced it before. But if you don't have a mini or some sort of transport, if you start getting attacked by an animal and you don't have a gun on you, you don't have any sort of way to get away, you're dead. Because every single animal, even the boar, is faster than you. Which I think is very stupid. Bear makes sense, wolf makes sense, but a boar, I don't. And it's not even really running as fast as it can either. It's just kind of jogging, and it'll like ram you in the back, and you lose so much health every time, and it's annoying. But again, I think all of these might just be pet peeves of mine. And speaking of transportation, the transportation driving system, piloting system, there are cars and helicopters in this game. As far as I know, there's no other vehicles that you can use. But I just want to talk about how you fly the helicopters in this game. I think it is the stupidest way I've seen a game portray piloting ever. It's realistic. Don't get me wrong. If you've played the game, if you've flown a heli before, it's definitely realistic. But I just want to play the game. I don't want to learn how to be a pilot just so I can get around the map and not have to worry. But in this game, you have to take like fucking courses to learn how to fly these helicopters. And I think that is really annoying to me. And even to this day, I think I have almost 80 hours on record on Rust. And I still cannot land a heli properly on this game. It sounds stupid because just land it. Because I played GTA, and a lot of other games where you could fly helicopters and landing them wasn't that hard. I was like, I got this. It is so difficult if you don't have experience, or like hours and hours of experience, to land a helicopter without damaging it or even blowing it up. It is so difficult. So yeah, I think that whole thing should be reworked. And again, I can't think of anything good to say about the game. It's fun if you like grind heavy games. I mean, the combat, the PvP is good. It's sort of unfair sometimes. Okay, the crafting system is good. I guess I haven't mentioned that yet. The crafting system is very good and unique. So, obviously, you go out, it's like any other survival game. You go out, you gather resources. But to get more and more stuff that you can craft, you have to research it, which means you have to go out and find something. And then you have to get a research table. And then the currency in Rust is called scrap. It's just scrap metal. That's the currency in the game. And you basically just put whatever you want to research into a research table, and it costs a certain number of scrap to research it, which means it'll always be in your crafting inventory, which means you can go out and you can get the resources to craft it instead of kind of having RNG and hoping that you'll be able to find it. So yeah, the whole system's good. The traps and stuff are good. You have the shotgun trap, the auto turrets. All that is good. Raiding bases are pretty fun. All that's pretty fun to do if you have like a full squad. Solo raiding kind of is not an ideal thing to do, but I've seen people do it before. But yeah, I just don't know what to say about this game really, other than that. Anything you think you could do in terms of like you can do anything in this game. You want to be a fucking weed farmer in this game, you could actually be a weed farmer in this game. Well, it's hemp, but if you want to grow corn, pumpkins, blueberries, whatever you want to do. If you want to grow plants in the game to sustain yourself, you can. If you want to be a fucking electrician in the game, you can. You can set up services. You can set up vending machines for other players to come buy your products. So I think that's pretty good about the game. It's very innovative when it comes to survival games. I think it was very innovative. But I think that's all I'm going to talk about it for now. I'll give it a 2 out of 5 on the bus ladder, just because you have to have more than just yourself to play the game. And then even then, you always run the risk of getting like an offline raid. So all that shit you've been working on before was, it could all go away in an instant. Even you get off the game, all that stuff is still going to be running. People are still going to be on that server, and it's just it's really annoying when you get off and you come back on, and everything you've been working for is gone. So yeah, I give it a 2 out of 5 on the bus ladder. That's my official rating. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, smash that like button. Subscribe if you want to. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.